There is no doubt in my mind that when we finally got the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2, that thousands and million people around the world, they were up all night, they were drinking champagne, they were partying, they were going crazy over the news of the Nintendo Direct and the games that were being dropped alongside it and the games that were coming alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 that year, later this winter, and they had the right to do so. I mean, the Nintendo Switch dropping and the games coming alongside it, that was big news. But there was sadly a giant kill switch with this news, and that was the price of what the Nintendo Switch 2 is actually going to be. I know that money comes into a big factor when it comes with gaming. I'm sure the Nintendo Switch costs thousands of dollars being able to make, the hours spent in decoding the programs to be able to use up all that save storage, double what the original Nintendo Switch had, and all the other benefits that come with the Nintendo Switch 2. But I'm sure a lot of people's hearts just dropped and broke once they found out that the Nintendo Switch 2 was gonna be being sold for $449.
Hey, what?
Me personally, I think it's kind of funny that Nintendo chose to price the Switch 2 at $449. That is such a random number. I know at tax it's gonna come to like $450 something, but just set it as $450 instead of being $1 short of that. Personally, I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, I did take notes on this. I can't believe that Nintendo is charging so much. So that leaves the question, like, I know inflation right now is crazy. Everything is costing so much more. But honestly, it seems like Nintendo is just being greedy at this point.
Does that happen a lot?
No, they're usually silver.
It was either the day of or, like, the day right after a news article came out that Nintendo.com set the Nintendo Switch 2 price at $449. But also, I took some notes on the article of what I thought was crazy. So, not only was it $449, that ended up being $50 more than what people thought it was going to be, and it ended up being $150 more than the original Nintendo Switch that came out in 2017. This really sparked a fear in me, honestly. Not only does it seem that Nintendo just right now doesn't care about the enjoyment people get from gaming. Right now, it just seems all they care about is money.
Money, money, money.
But it's like, let us have fun with your stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you got these big time YouTubers like Beat 'em Ups, you got Penguin Zero, and even if they've made videos themselves about how crazy the prices for the Nintendo Switch 2 and how crazy the prices are for the games that are gonna be for the Nintendo Switch 2, and given the fact that these are big-time YouTubers, that they themselves think this is crazy what Nintendo is doing right now, you have to admit that even when these YouTubers that make buttloads of money from their videos admit that this is way too much, we kind of have a problem. So apparently Mario Kart World, that is going to be an $80 game, which is crazy. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom on the original Switch, that came out at $70, which was crazy considering Breath of the Wild was $60 and but honestly, since Tears of the Kingdom was such an amazing game, I had so many fun hours playing that game, I can let that slide. $70 for a Zelda game, I can let that slide considering how much fun I had with it. But if now Mario Kart World is $80, what's to stop it from going up? I mean, what's to stop the next Zelda game from being $90 on Nintendo Switch 2? I mean, it's crazy if Nintendo expects anyone to pay $100 for a Zelda game, or any game for that instance. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're taking our bank accounts and running wild with it, just bleeding us dry, and they think they can get away with it. It's crazy. So apparently people are thinking that it's due to inflation. Well, they have two thoughts on this. Either it's due to inflation, or their second thought, which really honestly terrifies me a lot more, because if this is true, it's not good news for me. And their thought is that this is where AAA gaming is going. Like PlayStation, they're gonna follow Nintendo, and well, they kind of already have been releasing their games at $70, $80. But the gaming company Rockstar, there's a joke, or a so-called joke, that for Grand Theft Auto 6, they're gonna be releasing it for $100 to $110, which I don't care, honestly. I'm not a fan of Grand Theft Auto at all. I got a lot of friends, though, who like it, so I don't know if they're gonna buy it. If they're gonna buy it for $110, they do them, but in my opinion, any game is not worth $110 because that's a lot of money and that's not worth it, especially if you hate the game. That brings me to my last question I had after I read this article. What will that do with the Nintendo Switch Online? If you have the online expansion pass, you guys know that it's like $50 for the whole year. I mean, $50 a month would have been ridiculous. I wouldn't have gotten that. But $50 for a whole year of playing great past Nintendo game systems like the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy, the Nintendo 64, being able to play all of those systems, all those great games, for only $50 a year, there's no question that I was gonna spend that, especially because I make a lot more in a year than $50. So I was fine with spending that money. But if they raise the price to like $100 a year or more, I'm not gonna be paying $100 a year to play video games for the online expansion pass, because I need the money and it's not worth it going to video games. So we already know that Mario Kart's gonna be $80. I have a feeling like they are gonna push Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch 2. I have a feeling that they're gonna push those $90, maybe $80 for Breath of the Wild and $90 for Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch 2. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens, but that's just heartbreaking. I really hope that Metroid Prime Beyond isn't gonna be $90. If it is, I'm still gonna get it. Yes, I'm still gonna get the Nintendo Switch 2 because I love Nintendo. I'm still gonna support the company just because it's an amazing gaming company. It's what I grew up with. It's what I love. But it's just crazy how greedy Nintendo is being right now. I hope that maybe Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma, they see these videos of gamers saying how crazy that they think these games are being priced at, and they're gonna change their mind in what price to set these upcoming games at, because it's just ridiculous.
Lays. I have no soul.
Anyway, those are my thoughts on the prices of games right now. It's so crazy that PS5 games are being released for $70. That's why I always look for the cheap ones that are set to like $30 or $25. And I just hope beyond hope that this doesn't last long, that games are being set at $80 to $90. Because if that's gonna be the normal now, I gotta get a job that pays a lot more than $15 an hour, or I gotta find something to do with my life because I won't play video games. Alright, that's the end of the video. That's all I got for you guys. If you agree with what I said by the fact that this is way too much for any video game being $80 to $90, and you think the prices should be taken down, please leave that in a comment below. And please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I hope you agree with what I said. And that's what I got. We'll see you next time.